It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we not talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun la wa mo dododo.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me tonight or this morning or afternoon. It is brunch time with Maiyegun, and thank God it's Friday. Miss you too. Please read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell all of them. I know, I miss you too. I just took a break yesterday, okay? And now I am back. We have a lot of catch up to do starting from this moment. And share this. Rufai, the Kaduna little finger. has now sued the Kaduna State government for accusing him of stealing 420 billion naira. And we talk. And yesterday, Kenyans who won 2 days ago, Kenyans, yes, we have a lot of catch up to do in Kenya because you need a lot of update on that too. So what happened is this: after forcing the hand of the IMF puppets, Ruto, now they are now asking him to go and leave totally. You have killed Kenyans, only to withdraw what they have been asking you to withdraw for a while. Now, you have killed Kenyans, and you are still killing Kenyans. You have lost all the rights to be our president. Same goes for the lawmakers. See, Kenyans are asking that the parliament should be dissolved. They no longer want these guys anymore. They are going to their properties, to their homes, and most of them are staying in Nairobi. They can't even go back to their constituency anymore. So, but today, thank you so much, Jare, Mami, Omolara, Ogundari, and others as you are joining. You see, I'm happy to be back though, right? I'll tell you about that later. So let's get down to it because we are starting late, okay? However, brunch time with Maiyegun, usually we will start from Nigeria, okay? But I kind of love to end it there, okay? So the first part of this chat this morning is going to be about Kenya. Things have gone totally out of hand now. You see, 2 days ago, Ruto finally surrendered, and he said he rejected signing the controversial finance bill. Just for those of you who probably you are coming across this, for the first time, let me kind of bring you up to date. 2 years ago, like in Nigeria, Kenyans, they went to poll, and they were to choose the leadership for their country. And the person that appealed mostly to the young people then was Ruto. And in fact, he spoke so well on the type of policies, like a typical politician, that was going to be different. So they backed him. The institutions in Kenya stood behind what they considered was right. What were those things? Like in Nigeria under Buhari, Kenyans were already going through serious economic crisis, but not like what they experienced in the last 2 years under Ruto. So it was a very good example to say the reason why Kenyans were suffering was because the government of the time, they were partnering with World Bank, IMF to impoverish Kenyans. It was an easy sell, and a lot of Kenyans agreed with him. That's true. We must cut down taxes. Our people are paying too much, okay? We must subsidize things for people. Like in Nigeria, petroleum is subsidized in Kenya, like many other things, but mainly petroleum. So, because of the economic crisis, you put it that way, caused by the former government's borrowing, which the taxpayers of Kenya have to pay back, it wasn't a good idea for any government to proceed and start borrowing again and coming with other stringent hard conditions only to be bought by the citizens. Now, the final stroke that broke the camel's back between Ruto, lover boy of the youth, the one that the Gen Z saw as a breath of a fresh air from the normal oligarch in Kenya, where it is always turn by turn, Kenya Limited, like Nigeria. grab the power, make everybody around you so wealthy that you can easily tell the difference between the politicians and the poor people they are leading. It's always the tradition. Ruto was supposed to be different. He went into a partnership, a coalition with another political party to form that government. That's his vice president. So Ruto, within just few months, he became the poster boy for the same World Bank and the IMF. All the talk of African currency, Africa this, African that, Pan-African this, all that nonsense talk from him disappeared. But the Kenyans were like tolerating him. Some were defending him. Some were trying to understand him until it came for them finally, and nobody is spared. To the point that even those, like in Nigeria, they have people they pay too. They hire influencers online. They pay people like offline. They organize counter protests. They pay. There are Kenyans willing, but they're also going to suffer. So it became a thing that the Gen Z take upon themselves. They now emptied the entire finance bill and all of the clauses. They broke everything down, even for their parents that will normally read the headline and read some of the fine prints and all the big grammars in their papers and all that, and they will just flow with it. The Gen Z choose not. Or more. They broke it down to the point that in Kenya, they have law on land where the land, even though if the land is yours, or if the land is going to be leased by you, they pay taxes on them too. Okay, so this finance bill, IMF loan, listen to this. So Kenya, under the former government, they borrowed $500 million. That $500 million has increased to $750 million now. Now, Ruto with World Bank will now borrow Kenya $1.2 billion so that Kenya can pay back $750 million they collected before. Okay? So they can use the rest for anything else they think is proper in their country. So what that means is that $500 million loan from the World Bank or IMF given to Kenya, nobody can say what they use the money for, okay? So Kenya cannot pay back. For Kenya to be able to pay back, World Bank now said, okay, we'll offer you 1.2 billion. So you can use 750 million from that to pay back that loan. Now you have, let's say, $350 million left, okay? But in overall, Kenya will be in debt of 1.2 billion because Kenya want to pay back 500. The Gen Z broke everything down. And how is Kenya going to pay back? So the World Bank now asked them to remove subsidies. Remove subsidy on petroleum, remove subsidy on this, remove subsidy on that, which would then automatically skyrocket the hardship that they are already facing. For now, Kenyans, they say, the population of Kenya is about between 53 and 55 million, okay? Out of that 53 and 55 million right now, more than 10 million of them are living in poverty, below poverty line. And 40% more, which is going to be like about 25 million more, are in danger of falling into abject poverty with this proposal. So they would not be able to afford bread, milk, sanitary pad. Number one, they will not be able to afford the electricity bill anymore. Like that 40%. We're talking about deliberately putting 25 million people in poverty. Then you say, well, since the other 30 million are okay, this 20 million later, they will catch up. That's just the plan. That's the plan of the politicians. We do not have any money to pay. So to show the World Bank that we will pay the money, we will pay the loan, we will just remove subsidy, increase taxes on few things. Okay? And that means if Kenya is generating, let's say 200 billion Kenyan shillings as their revenue in a single year, all year round, 200 billion, right? Now, Kenya has a deficit, for example, this 2024 in their budget, they have a deficit of 200 billion shillings, Kenyan shillings, right? It's like saying 200 billion naira. Deficit means they have things they want to spend money on, but they do not have enough money to pay for what they want to spend money on as a government. And guess most of what they want to spend money on? Like Nigeria, luxury for the politicians. Yeah, new cars, new houses for them, travel allowance for them, spousal allowance, baba. They collect spousal allowance for their politicians in Kenya. Yeah, they made law. Like Nigerian politicians collect money to read papers. They collect money, hardship allowance. Nigerian politicians collect, Nigerian lawmakers collect hardship allowance. In Kenya, they collect that too. And their wives or husband, they get paid allowances. And all of this is part of the budget. There are Kenyans who Kenya will pay for, but Kenya has no money. So they went to World Bank. World Bank now said, you know, you are in debt already. And your income doesn't show that you can pay back some of the money you say you need. Oh, we'll pay back. Show it. Prove it. Okay. Then we are going to submit what is called the Finance Bill 2024. Kenyans will pay. We promise you. Now, waiting cost wahala be that too. And when the people now started saying, are you mad? You want to kill us? Businesses are folding up. Businesses are leaving Kenya too. Yeah. Overtaxed. Yeah. Unemployment in Kenya is increasing as well. Businesses are folding too because they can't pay all of the imposed taxes on them. And you guess what? All these taxes are not because they want to build road. It's because they want to pay IMF, World Bank, and to prove to them that they can pay. Now all of you go pay. So the hardship is overall. The voice, tribe, ethnic, religious, or any class, even the rich, said they cry. So that's the genesis. So that is why if you are watching them from outside Africa, outside Kenya, and you are also suffering your own dictatorship, your own hardship, you have no idea of how to go about it. There's no point in trying to project your fear on them, because they know the source of their problems, and they are not shying away from it. They are not calling God. Majority of them are not calling diasporans. Kenyans in diaspora come back home and save Kenya. No. They live there. They work there. They have their families there. They have their businesses there. They are the affected. So nobody needs to tell them. Then what happened? Ruto doubled down. It was like nothing. He called them terrorists. Yeah. He called them terrorists. But you know something that worked for them so far in Kenya? As much as they have killed over 150 people, which has now triggered a new level of a protest. See, there are some members of the institutions, like the judiciary, Supreme Courts, like the police. Yeah, the police have been shooting because Ruto was able to change the hierarchy of the police, thinking he could use them to suppress this demand that don't put us in poverty, don't put us in poverty. Then he turned to the military. Even the military, they also kind of reacted with mixed feelings. Yes, we are going to go out there, okay? But listen, you should not shoot at these people. But there are those who are part of that military, police, and the rest, who are also still kind of feeling like these protesters' church should be crushed, even though they themselves are going to be affected. This issue of tribal destiny is so strong in Kenya that it is the only tool that the politicians have been using. They were telling their people that they are stupid. They don't understand anything. If Kenya doesn't take that money from World Bank and increase their taxes, Kenya is going to go bankrupt. But they were paying themselves billions and billions and billions. So now everything don't scatter. After killing the people, They are no longer asking the reject finance bill 2024 anymore. They are now asking Ruto to go. You've killed us. You can't be our president anymore. Even lawmakers who voted no. Baba, they themselves are now asking the parliament should be dissolved. This is happening in Kenya. So we're going to go there for the first few minutes, maybe the next 20 minutes. Okay, let's go to Kenya as a catch-up, you know. This was yesterday. Mind you, in some of the clips, you will see some of properties vandalized. These are, are reported to be the properties of the lawmakers, politicians, especially those ones who actually talked down on them in the last 2 weeks. Those ones who made different videos to talk down on Kenyans and threaten them. Okay? Now people are going after them. So if you see any of those, just know those are the properties of the politicians. They were going to take over the government house of Kenya. And yesterday, they didn't succeed. Or maybe they didn't really push yesterday. But today is another day, you see, right? Here, watch.
Yoni kuka, guy. Ini generator. Ini oge Arewa.
Yeshini ya Allah.
Like from Nyeri town. Nyeri MP, Kenny West, Kenny East, Walkien, Rumi and Leo. Sorry. Mama
Inyue nenyo mugucoka gutua uria tugwika nenyo mugutwira ona turia ngima mukaigo mwe tukuria ngima ithu ni ithu atuge turia githeri ona turia githeri nenyo mugwika atia mulitwiraga
People power! Power!
We are saying that taxes must be reduced, manze. We are getting overtaxed every day. He's taxing bread, sanitary pads, diapers, cancer treatment, everything.
The members of parliament have been elected by the people and they must represent the people. People power! Our power! Power! People power! Power! Yeah, people power. Unafanya nini? Hatuna vita na nyinyi. Hatuna vita na nyinyi. Members of parliament must represent the people. They must listen to us and they must represent us. People power! Power! Reject finance bill! Reject! Reject finance bill! Reject! Yeah. Niko sawa, mimi niko sawa.
No one saw. Meanwhile, watu wanazurura tu tukizokaa watumbi. Si wanachizi, ukionyesha wizi. Na ukiambiwa wapunguze matumizi ya kiholela na kupoteza hela. Hawataki kusikia. Wanatuambia ati Kenya kwanza iko nyuma. Iko nyuma.
People power! People power! People power! The members of parliament must listen to the people.
Reject your bill. Reject your bill. People power. Reject your tax, your cancer.
Tunafika parliament.
Standing before you is Honorable Joyce Atino Sogo Bensouda.
I'll come back to you, Honorable Joyce. So those were still like the early stuff, you know. And then those who were vandals, who were looting as well. You see, in Kenya, right, during this whole protest, government used many things to try to stop it. Before they even tried so much to criminalize it. Okay, so the same policemen, you know, like the secret policemen who were on Mufti, right, to join the protesters. Then they were there encouraging the protesters to be violent. And some of them are just like, no. Then later, the government went back. They brought in, like, they call them goons in Kenya. It's like the political thugs. The next thing, like in large numbers, right? They joined the protest. But do you know the difference? The protesters and these hired goons, you can easily identify them in the crowd. They were rough looking. They were holding weapons like sticks, you know, like chains, stuff to look more or less like they were coming in to disrupt the protest, even though they pretended to be part of the protesters. So that is enough for the policemen to start shooting at them. And that worked. But what is really heartbreaking is that while those who were holding sticks, who were holding weapons, when they were coming and moving towards the protest, they were being protected by the police. Like you could see the police vehicle guiding them on and leading them on to the CBD, the Central Business District in Nairobi, and a few other places. You could see them. And you see this Gen Z, right? They were able to put up faces. About policemen were shooting directly at people like that. Even journalists were not spared. But during this whole drama, you see this Honorable Abina Senator, Honorable Joyce. She is also a lawmaker, I think. She was outside the country when this whole thing blew up. She's surprised and shocked that all of this, I don't even know where to start. Let's go back to Kenya.
Standing before you is Honorable Joyce Atieno-Sogo Bensouda, woman representative of Bay County. I've just landed and I've found a confused country. I'm shocked that I don't know where to take the mantle from. I've walked into the parliament and I've seen even sittings there are contrary to the way it's supposed to be. We are fooling Kenyans. I'm seeing Kenya Kwanza today have occupied spaces for Azimio. What is it that they're trying to demonstrate? As I was coming to parliament, I've seen heavy security roadblocks. What is wrong in this country? I'm from Namibia where we were moving smoothly. I came here knowing very well that debate on finance bill was going to run 2 weeks. What was the rush? A question to ask. What is it that leaders cannot be honest? The 13th parliament is not being truthful as to why we were elected. I've also heard before I left the country, when even members of the government were complaining that they don't know how to dodge, themselves they are under captivity. They cannot be open. Some of them even complained and confirmed that they were whipped to State House so that they are able to make sure that it is yes. I was shocked to read in the social media. I don't know whether content creators were the ones who were lying. To hear a senior government officer in this government talking about no projects would go to places where are going to reject the finance bill. Are we elected to play with Kenyans? Are we ready to serve this country? Are we ready to represent as per the Constitution 2010? I'm shocked. I don't know where to take the mantle from as a woman. I think this country requires adequate and thorough leadership. What is taking place is wrong. As a project planner, what ought to have come first, in my own view, he was the one who was driving this mantle. The Debt and Privatization Committee was supposed to table for this country what is the level and the state of this country in terms of loans, in terms of guarantees given. That would have been the first cycle. The second cycle now was supposed to be the budget to be read. That which I've found being read in Parliament with a section of legislatures. It is sad. This is a budget which is going to be managed by taxpayers' money. From there, Kenyans were supposed to ask themselves, are we ready to finance and afford to implement the proposed budget? Then the third stage now was the finance bill, which was supposed to now take care of how are we going to finance our budget? What are the loans that we are going to give? Have we optimized our debt levels that we don't need to go under debts? I went into a country which is only 2.5 million, and they are sustaining their projects. What is this problem? What is this monster in this country that we cannot revive the existing projects? We cannot start by sustaining what we have. Why do we rush into taxation? The content creators to be taxed at 15%. Do we even train them? Do we offer them opportunities? We are talking of a digitalized country. If we can tax each and everything, even my hair itself today, I cannot afford it because they're already even taxing what is going to be for the hairdressers. This is a nation that requires rigorous advocacy and true leadership. At this pace, I don't know where we are heading to. This is a country that requires real prayers. We are lost, and that's what I can say. We must come out from being lost.
1.5% tax, housing levy.
I don't even want to hear that. Whether it is 0.1%, I'm not taking it up. Why? Remember, I'm a primary school teacher. I took loan during that time and built my house. Teachers are organized people. Even I was waiting to represent my teachers. What was this rush of voting yesterday? What was this rush? What was this rush? What is it that we were feeling yesterday at night? We should not force people into a framework without consultation. I believe that public participation should be adequate. This finance bill did not undergo a relevant and secure public participation. The Kenyans are just getting glimpses of it. How do you tax somebody who's already having a fat greenhouse and is comfortable doing agriculture at home? Then you keep on talking of many things, zero rating, exempt, zero rating, exempt, zero rating, exempt. What are you talking about? It is a pity. There are people who have retired, they're old. Will they be coming to Nairobi here and many places to secure for their rental collection? Even we are told that even the houses after they are being built, they are going to be subjected into tax, that somebody is going to be put to collect your money. How is it going to benefit me? People are supposed to be staying in different places and advancing. Who informed, who consulted me on 1.5% reduction from 3%? Were you yourself consulted? Do you need that house? We are joking with this country, and people must rise in arms. When you see policemen shunning away the voices of Kenyans, something is pretty wrong. And the leaders must come out.
Did you see the last part? Or second to the last part, those guys with their sticks and all of that, cops and all that. Yeah, did you see that other part as well, where the CCTV camera, security camera in a shop, caught those two guys who were looting a fabric shop or, clothing shop. Right. Did you see that the two of them, as part of the goons, which the Gen Z have exposed, so to say, right? Those two guys you saw in that video loading those clothes and dumping them away. Now, those are the people who are doing everything they could to distract the protesters by breaking into shops. And then they're just giving those things out like, you want? Come here, you are protesting. Come and collect jeans. Here, they were not taking them for themselves. It was to create that scene of looting, arson, destruction, so that when the police and the military will bring their report of why they killed over 150 people, they will say they are trying to save the properties of innocent people, that people were breaking into their shops. Easy peasy. They will investigate themselves and they will vindicate themselves. Sounds similar? Like in Nigeria? But they were killing people and taking their bodies away. I can't show you all those videos. I can encourage you, if you are interested, okay? You should go on social media and just put the hashtag reject finance bill. Ruto must go. Hashtag Ruto must go. Hashtag reject finance bill. You will feed your eyes. No, you won't feed your eyes. You will fill your eyes with tears if you are human. So these are the few I could show you without us having to run into any of their, without violating their, the platform's rule here. It's so similar. Something that Ruto could have withdrawn. Like that woman was saying, right? He was practically saying there was no consultation. There was so much behind the scene arm twisting of the lawmakers. Even the lawmakers were threatened themselves that if you vote no, forget it. We are not bringing any project to your constituency this year. They told the lawmakers themselves. 104 of them still voted no. These are behind the scene just because they wanted to. IMF wanted them to pass it. Too much consultation. It's not going to meet the June 30. Kenya, financial year, by law, Kenyan government must sign the financial document, the budget, by the 30th of June. So if Kenya failed to sign it, now that the whole thing is done, enter red, there's no budget, there's no nothing, right? So Kenya is going to have to run on a zero budget for the next 1 year. Zero budget simply means zero economy to some extent, right? Except if they go back to their parliament and extend the time for this, their financial year or what have you, extend it by another maybe 90 days, 3 months, from June to September. So by law, Ruto has just 2 days. Now that the riots and this whole thing is everywhere, people are not meeting him. They said they don't want to meet him. He has to go. So definitely a lot of vacuum is going to be created. They are even calling for the dissolving of the parliament. They don't want these lawmakers anymore. They want another elections. They voted them. Now democracy, instead of, in Nigeria, they will tell you to wait to 2027. There's nothing you can do. You have to endure to 2027. They are so confident, right? In Kenya right now, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, and it doesn't mean that it won't happen. The Kenyans are now saying they don't even want these lawmakers anymore. They don't want them anymore. They want another elections. They also want Ruto to set up a body. I think it's called the IEBD or something. It is actually the body that will be responsible for them to recall all the lawmakers. Yes, right now, that is part of their demand in Kenya right now. They want Ruto to either resign now or constitute that committee. So that committee as a body is like the upper something like that, right? So the citizens from constituencies all over the country, they can now put in to call back all the lawmakers they don't want. And then they can ask for another election. Yeah. Let's go back to Kenya for the third time.
My name is Dr. Daniel Manduku, Member for Parliament, Arewa Musaba, and a member of the Orange Democratic Movement Party. First, I want to pass my condolences to the families and the relatives of those dear children that we lost in the demonstrations that took place on Tuesday. I also want to thank the young people who came out to make their voices heard. I want to thank the President for ultimately listening to the people's voice and doing the right thing. But more than that, I want to state here that as elected leaders, we are the problem. And I want to ask the President to immediately dissolve the National Assembly and call for elections within 90 days. I know people will argue that there is no IEBC, but remember, we are party to many international treaties. We can ask the AU, that is African Union, the East African Community, or the UN, to send 9 commissioners to oversee the elections. The first point will be to update the voter register within 30 days, and thereafter conduct fresh elections. Members of Parliament who served barely 2 years can be compensated on their remaining term. It is not tenable that we can go back to that house which has been desecrated. And remember, Article 1 of our Constitution talks about the power belonging to the people, and that we as elected members only exercise it on their behalf. What we saw on Tuesday is that the public came to take back their power, and it is time we called a spade a spade. I want to ask Kenyans not to allow their members of Parliament to go back to Parliament, even myself included. Yesterday, I saw the President reading a statement, and the Deputy reading a statement a few minutes later. 2 statements that seemed to come from different arms of government. It is my considered view that the government has failed in its duties to protect Kenyans. Further on that, we're asking the President to immediately reconstitute his cabinet and get competent people, and I say competent people, to work for him. Lastly, I'm asking Kenyans and all those young people who came out to demonstrate to ensure that no member of Parliament goes back to Parliament until we go for fresh and new election. We are relying on you, Gen Z. You've come out.
Inside Parliament Kitchen, we reject Finance Bill 2024.
Parliament live. Ona manyama ndugu yangu. Sasa nyama iko hapa ndani. Kuna kuku. Kuna samaki, utakula samaki, kuku. It's a revolution. Kuku iko huku. Sasa zimebaki.
Kwa bidii inanisha watu wengi, nyinyi mnaiba. 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 Hii inalisha watu wengi, mnaiba. Yoyo! Shika huyo!
So my own highlight of that is that senator, that member of the parliament, that said they were the problems. We are the problems. So we are calling on Ruto to dissolve the parliament. In fact, the fact that the Kenyan people have taken it upon themselves to stop them from enslaving the whole country, that they desecrated the hallowed chamber of their National Assembly, is enough to let everyone not to go back in there as a lawmaker. Just go home. So that's the highlight of my own happenings in Kenya yesterday. A senator who said, listen, we are the problems. Okay? Let the people choose afresh. Dissolve the parliament, dissolve the National Assembly. And while you are doing that, maybe you should, appoint competent people into your government. As for us as lawmakers, that house is already desecrated. Only people elected by the people should be sitting there, not these ones who have sold themselves off. You know, but Nigerian lawmakers, Nigerian politicians, they are the luckiest. But their own day is coming. And it is coming very soon. It's just that when it comes, it's going to be so bloody, so out of control, that is likely not be like that of Kenya. It's going to be really bloody. You see, the boldness, the confidence of this Tinubu and his gang is totally out of this world. But whenever the all hell broke loose, you go hear them. And one of the neighbors of the Kenyans, the Zimbabweans, they themselves have started gathering too. Yeah, it is already spreading to Zimbabwe. Some said it's already on the way to Zambia, Gambia, as well as Uganda. It's coming down to Ghana. Ghanaians, the Ghanaians online are already putting out a poster. Something has to happen in September. They are putting a date. September, 3 months away. But it is coming down. But the Zimbabwe government is not going to have that. If you try that in this country, their president will listen. The people, their president.
I'm fully aware that certain unruly elements, in collaboration with our detractors, have activated their perennial tendencies of seeking to disturb our security, peace, and prevailing tranquility environment in our country. They must be warned that my government will not broker any form of mischief under whatever pretext. The law will take its course without fear or favor. Atidi mesha mkono todzisvasvanga.
So the Zimbabwe president is already getting the hint. He's likely going to be next. Yeah, it's spreading, but with the help of platforms like this, you will be up to date, in tune, and you won't be in the dark whenever the whenever the vehicle or the ship of these batches in your country. You can always point to this and say, well, I got the hint from Maiyegun's diary political. And as for the president of Liberia, he got the hint too. And according to him, he won't blame the people. Poverty caused by corruption. Corruption is evil. Listen to the president of Liberia.
Look at Liberia today. Where are the clinics? Where are the schools? Where are the streets? Where are the roads? Not because we couldn't build them, but the monies have been diverted to individuals. And what are these individuals? They go outside the country, they buy houses, but the country that they make the money from, they are afraid to use the money there. So they go out, they forget that there are hundreds of children here that are not going to school. There are no medical. I have a very close friend now who is sick in Foya. He could have been brought here by helicopter, but where they? Corruption is a poison. Whatever it touches, it destroys. It deprives people from having good roads. It deprives others from having good medical facilities. You're always wishing to go elsewhere when you can have it right here. That's what corruption does. It destroys a nation. It makes people become disrespected because people think we are a country living on handout when we shouldn't be. Look at Liberia.
We are a country that should be, we are a country that lives on handouts when we shouldn't be. Corruption. And what is it that corruption cannot destroy? In Nigeria, what corruption destroys are many. At the same time, what corruption unites are even more. In Nigeria, criminals unite together to fight and set stage for their wars. The wars that they won't actually have to fight, except for their impoverished citizens, divided, browbeaten, poor, impoverished. They will be the one to fight the war of attrition, the war that the spoil of it is being shared by the same elites that want you and I to hate ourselves. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Ijo, Ibibi, Fulani, Irobo, and others. I'm sure you get. I'm just trying to pick whatever comes to my head. Hate yourself, divide yourselves, while the criminals unite themselves, united by corruption. That's the establishment you have in that contraption, Nigeria. Take a look. In case if you don't know, right, it has now been confirmed by the Guinness World Record, okay, that the biggest scam that happened to Nigeria between 2014, it's still ongoing, 2024, 10 years, a decade of scam remained APC. I saw people discussing RCCG. And I saw some others trying to kind of say, no, it's not like that. You need to see. When you see this guy, what do you see? Tell me. Do you see a pastor or you see a fraudster?
I'm deeply honored and grateful to God and to our great party, and especially to General Buhari, our presidential candidate, for nominating me as the vice presidential candidate for our great party. I accept the nomination gladly and happily, and I'm honored to work with General Buhari, who everyone knows, even his detractors know, that he is an upright, honest man who is fiercely committed to good governance. And I believe that it will be a special privilege to work with him. General Buhari and I have had several discussions, and some of them going into several hours. And I think that we have in him the right person to lead our country to the great future that it has been deprived of for so many years. I believe that the next few years, and God helping us, we will win in February. And in the next few years, this country will be restored to its pride of place, and this country will be truly great again. And thank you all very much. I'm deeply honored.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
That was Pastor Ruga from Redeemed Christian Church of God. Majority of your criminal governors, they are members of Redeemed Christian Church of God. Majority of your National Assembly members, House of Assembly members, their wives, they are, they are members of the RCCG, APC, Egbekegbe, and Adeboye, the Chancellor. They are all there to help keep you. Listen to this, and it's not even like it's not an exaggeration. Okay, it is only people who are still naive that will turn around and be like, no, it's because you don't like Adeboye. It's because shut up, Dakejari. For those who know better, right? The criminals destroying Nigeria, 30% of them, if not more, are members of RCCG. And that is why the same Adeboye that could easily mobilize 1 million man march of his church members to reject hardship under Goodluck Egbere Jolantan has now developed arthritis. They can't say Nigeria problem and spiritual problems. But you see, the governors, the looting governors, the criminal governors, right? They are the regulars at his church. No joke. They even call them pastors, right? And I remember when this cult group came up with a memo that all of their branches must set up a political branch, all because they were preparing for Pastor Ruga, hoping that Pastor Ruga will succeed Bokwari. I know some of you are Redeemed members watching this broadcast who actually fought that. So there's a good thing for you to say, oh yeah, we saw it and a lot of us actually objected to it. Some of us just felt like, what the heck? Because that's exactly what happened. It is better for you than to deny it. Our evidence, you problem here. Sure, you understand now. The same, what do you call it? Adeboye with his Goya oil, to anointing, right? Our gone vegetable oily. You don't understand? Anointing only. That's actually not the whole, that's not the whole thing, no. It is because the moment what do you call it? Pastor Ruga, the moment Pastor Ruga was no longer favored, Baba, one discard the Redeemed Church political committee. They said Adeboye was telling them that they needed God-fearing people in government. They needed God-fearing people in politics. That's the Zobo is sold to them in his church. He didn't tell them that they will be working for APC. Some said. Okay? So they wanted God-fearing people. The former credit card criminal or credit card fraudster, Dubious Dapo, who is also the former member of the subsidy thieves in Nigeria, is Ogun State governor. Ogun State is the worst when it comes to road in the entire Nigeria. And I'm not proud to say it. I've got evidence. Have you been to Ayetoro lately? But these are the guys who are pumping in millions, hundreds of millions of stolen money from their states on different church projects, so that Adeboye can continue to lie to his congregation that God will help them. People from this place. Oh, hang on. Oh. you see the people living in that place. Whenever Adeboye meets all the thieves, ruining and destroying the lives of the people there, he prays for them because they will have to give him money. Yeah, they pay him. But when you see a religious slave, a member of Redeemed Church who is absolutely like gone, slave, totally, right? It will tell you, is Adeboye they are giving the money to? They are only giving it to the church. They are looting public money. They are donating it to the church for God's work. And in return, they get blessings from the chancellor himself. But when it is time for him to now meet the people from that part of horrible places that these guys have created, yeah, he will tell them that they don't need visa to go to America. They will shout amen.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not.
Whether you believe it or not, and they are amen. They know it's not going to happen. He knows it's not going to happen. But you know how he massages his ego. Somebody in that crowd was going to come up with a testimony. Daddy, I just got a visa to America. I never believed it in my life. They say it is a spiritual visa. That's not visa. It is the Holy Spirit that said they should give you. I say, thank you so much, Daddy. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. But it's out there. So they needed God-fearing Redeemed Church pastors to go into politics, and they found this clown. Remember him now? He's the APC, Egbekegbe youth leader.
Òun náà ló pè é. Àwọn mi kọ́ ọ́. Ẹni tó pè é. He justified. Òun ló dá láre. Àwọn mi justified. Ẹni tó dá láre. He glorified. Ó ṣe lógo. Open your mouth and pray this morning. Ẹnu rẹ kó gbàdúrà yìí. Lord justify me. Olúwa dá mi láre. Lord glorify me. Olúwa ṣe mí lógo. In my school justify me. Nínú ẹ̀kọ́ mi dá mi láre. In my marriage glorify me. Nínú iṣẹ́ mi nínú òkòwò mi. In my family glorify me. Ṣe mí lógo. In my home glorify me. Ilé mi ṣe mí lógo. Among my friends glorify me. Oh God! Justify me! Glorify me! In the name of Jesus! In Jesus' name we are praying! Now many times our foundation conflicts with our destiny. David had the destiny of the palace. But his foundation.
And it is one thing to be in company. Bible says that Saul was in the company of the prophet and he began to prophesy. So when you are in the company of greatness, greatness automatically rubs off on you. But when you have no idea that you are working with greatness, you stand to disrespect the greatness. And so the thing that they could benefit from Jesus, they could not because they had no idea who they were working with.
Nuisance lele.
They call him Pastor Israel. Dayo Israel. Dayo. You don't know, say God get patience, yeah? God get patience. So God is not man. They will say, Abi, God is not man. If to say God is man, some of us, we go just, we just turn to powder. God just say, how can you do that? How can you say that? You this boy. Say God, I beg, shift. Say, Emi no shift. Go just turn you to bed bug. And you will you can't even say God, I beg anymore because you can't even. Maybe yes, you just be like nah. Just remain as a bee. Because when you deal with Nigerians, you go think say somehow. They are the special employee of their God, their sky daddy. Their sky daddy is called a temper problem. Have you not noticed?
But because a lot of you are not paying attention to what these guys are doing, the people around them, how they are helping to help keep you under the bondage, using the Bible verses, using the Quranic verses to deceive you and make you believe that the people will come from Saudi Arabia or people will come from Jerusalem at Palestine. They are now using their story to tie you down. You will come from Ikiti and Igbajo. Those of you will come from Zamfara. Now you are looking like you want to be like Arab. You want to be like Iraqis because somebody told you it is the best thing to feel like, right? And the way to be like them or to get to heaven is to speak and defend God. Nigerians are very good at that. The way they talk about their God in Nigeria, you go no say, oh, Benny, Nigerian God get anger problem. Because any small thing, to prove to you, say the God day, if you just kill your children, they go tell you, say, God can just do Job to you. You know, say inside that one, Job. Now Job, God detests too. But in the Bible, right? Now Job suffer most, including all of his children. But Job, now man, now Job, God detests Abi. Now Job, the story you hear. What about Job's wife? The person who gave birth to these children. Did they tell you what happened to her? At a point, they said, the woman, Job's wife, at a point, in her agony, she cursed the God who killed all her children to test her husband. Nobody tell you much about that because the most thing is that they want you to believe that their God, he get anger problem. If you annoy him, he can just destroy you. Watch your mouth. Their God says, thou shalt not touch my anointed. Or else you will see, God can just, you remember what happened to the people of Shogolokos or whatever there in Greece? They said something wrong about God. God just inflicted them with measles. Measles. About God to take an easy. It won't need to measles. God can just kill you to prove that he is so powerful. They are God. He has Sky Daddy in Nigeria. And you know where they got all of that from? They got it from all these pastorpreneurs, the pulpit bandits, Adeboye and his likes. I don't like them. As part of the establishment, using what you can call your spirituality to bribe, to blackmail you. I don't like that. There are chances. You will go to America. Amen. I want to go to America. So everybody started bribing their Nigerian God, their Sky Daddy. They started bribing him. I have to give him my first salary. I have to give him this. I have to give him that. But behind the scene, right, they were preparing them to be praying for rogues like this. Do you know that Tinubu Tinubu has submitted like about 3 different budgets now on top of this 2024 alone. They want to extend another, what they call it, supplementary. Nigeria has borrowed over 34 trillion naira in 1 year. Nothing to show for it. But guess what? It wants more. And it will get more. They want new aircrafts for shitty man, for Tinubu. He will get the aircraft like it is in Kenya until the Kenyans said, enough. Kenyan politicians didn't see what they were doing as unpatriotic. They called their citizens enemies of the country when actually they are the enemies of the country. We'll go to their National Assembly in Abuja. These are the 2 guys who are talking about extra money.
You have 2 substantive budgets, 2023, being extended to 31st of December and running them concurrently. You have other supplementary budgets being carried also at the same time, Mr. Speaker. I want to say without any fear of contradiction that they may be legal, but that moral feeling, that moral responsibility, Mr. Speaker, that moral questions will always be raised. Reason why I rise to say so, Mr. Speaker, is for us as a house and an institution, while we have no cause whatsoever to stop it, I will be for it. And I will urge people to be for it. But at least at this critical moment, we must unite ourselves and we must stand collectively and send a signal to the government of the Federation that not everything could fly. When you have a budget being extended continuously, it means the government is lagging behind in the pursuance of the implementation of that bill.
We will not just criticize, but profile an alternative, sir. And therefore, I will suggest that the House leader steps down this bill, and then we go back to the drawing board. Look at it, all the projects that are contained in 2023 budget and 2023 supplementary budget, we take them over to the 2024 supplementary budget so that we can have just 2 budgets running in the country. That way, we would have achieved everything that we intend to achieve.
You have 2 substantive budgets, 2023, being extended to 35.
Anarchy loans. Anarchy loans.
Yes. There's something I don't know if some of you know, right? People have been talking about pastors, and RCCG pastors kept popping up, okay? But there's something I'm there to add to that of Dayo Israel. He's talking about moving with Jesus, moving with glory, moving, and you need to know you have the glory. Now, Dayo Israel, having joined politics, he's been able to link up with other politicians who have ensured that in all those slots, like going for seminars, going for conferences, youth this at the United Nations, all those things like that. So he have access to get them. And that is what Dayo, whenever they are not, he was looking to become a minister, but he pushed his luck too far, okay? But he was able to become the the youth leader for APC, Egbekegbe in Nigeria. And he was the one who ignited that Ronu tribal bigotry in Lagos, when they felt like, how could Tinubu lose Lagos? How? And they thought, well, if Tinubu lost Lagos, Sonwo will soon leave too. So he just triggered and activated the Yoruba Ronu, the Igbo Etfu, and the Igbo attacks in Lagos. That was from a redeemed church pastor, Dayo Israel. Now, Dayo Israel sort of makes enough money from selling those slots. Ask people, some of you who are members of RCCG, how many of you have been promised slots to go to Vienna, to go to Switzerland, to go to UK, to go to US, to go to Europe, all these places all over the world for seminar, and they will ask you to bring bring stipend, and they can sell you the slot. They could put your name on. He is the RCCG pastor. I've had people who have told me that, and that was part of why I drawn my own conclusion. If I want to do anything with you, I'm talking about if I want to do any business with you, please keep out that your religious whatever. Keep it out. The moment you begin to drop and say, I am a God-fearing person, ask everybody. I don't care about whatever you fear or you don't fear. Okay? The people that have hidden behind using religion, I'm a pastor, and this or that, to swindle people. To swindle their own church members. Their church members can't even talk. And for few ones that speaks, they are easily attacked as being possessed by the devil who wants to destroy the names of the pastor. So that is why in Nigeria, okay, the criminals in Nigeria, they all have religions that they pretend to belong to. Whenever they want to start a meeting, okay, they will start with the let us pray. Then they will lie to themselves. They will plot. They will do everything that is mostly against their country and their people. Then they will ask somebody to give them the closing prayer. And by asking God that everything we discussed here today, we want you to please make it a reality. Prayer, prayer, prayer. Do away with such people. When it comes to serious business, they are the same set of people that will tell you, maybe that's how God wanted it. You don't even know what God used it for. Maybe God just wants to give you another opportunity somewhere. Don't tarnish the image of the pastor. People live in fear of them. And that's why you see some of them come on social media and they will start warning you, watch your mouth. I should watch my mouth because of another person who can read your Bible. Or another man or woman who can read your Quran. Speak in Arabic or cram the Bible. Is that not what that is? So I have to watch my mouth. So yeah, that's meanwhile, like I said, these are the people they ask you to pray for. They swindle their church members, and they don't expect them to. In fact, in some places, even in some of these other religious bodies, right? Instead of going public to punish randy criminals or thieving criminals, we call them the pulpit bandits. In the name of our Lord, amen. In the name of our Lord Jesus, the shout out to Koshidano, in the name of wish your God. And that is what Adeboye has been eating on too. And he's been doing it for so long. So yeah, you know. Some of us are going to be like, we are like hellfire straight in it. Nigerians are those who are so, they understand God so much. They know all of us where to go hell. Me as I did so now, I don't even know which of the hell I go to because they're going to drag me. There are some of you who are Muslims here who believes in Al-Jannah as well as Jahannam. Al-Jannah is paradise. Jahannam is hellfire. There are some of you who kind of knows that now there they go. Based on and Al-Jannah, and then the other one again. You know, Jahannam, that's the everlasting fire. For those of you who are Christians, and you are part of those who are living in the ashes of your pastorpreneurs, pulpit bandits, and who can quote all of this, your verses and the rest of that. So automatically, now hellfire they go. If you go argue about discuss, we will figure it out. That's the typical Nigerians. So that the criminals ruining their lives, we now tell them to pray for these ones who are discussing how to buy a plane. In times of austerity caused by these rogues, corruption, looting, they will buy it. Listen to Akpabiole.
We will approve things that will improve the living standard of the people. At the same time, we will also take cognizance of the duties of Mr. President. If his vehicle is bad, we will repair the vehicle. If his plane is bad, we will approve money for the repair of the plane. So that is not an issue. There is nothing before us. I don't think you should bother about it. Somebody called me and said that he was quoting from BBC, that what I said in Senator Monguno's house, that the statement was false and should be disregarded, that I was now saying that I will not approve. That is what you may call anticipatory blackmail. The purveyors of the story know very well that maybe there is problem with the presidential fleet and that where they will go to will be the parliament. And so they are now trying to do anticipatory blackmail to tell us if they bring it, do not look into it. So I think that we should ignore them and focus on what we are doing here. I've read the president's correspondences to us. There was nothing touching on plane or no plane. But I can tell you that when you hear stories such as the death of the vice president of Malawi as a result of defective plane, and then you hear stories such as the death of the president of Iran as a result of defective craft. In fact, this time it was a helicopter and all that. We shouldn't ever dream and allow such to be a portion. It won't be. The Senate is very responsible. The National Assembly is very responsible. We will look into issues that will benefit the governance of the country, irrespective of anticipatory blackmail. Get the words, anticipatory blackmail. They know very well that something like that may come in future, and if it's a necessity, the Senate will look into it. But there is nothing like that before us now. So they can go ahead, anticipate, and blackmail the Senate President. It will not affect me. Minority Leader will approve things that will...
That's how they talk. With much confidence. That's how they talk. It doesn't concern us. They will blackmail us. But of course, yeah. We'll buy it. We'll approve it. We need to buy plane for it. We'll buy it. We'll buy this and that. We don't want any plane crash. That's how they talk to their people. Because nobody is actually on the street to say, okay, yeah, don't try it. They will. And then they will grumble. You know? Meanwhile, I said something a few days ago. I said something. I showed you something on the supposed hawks, hyenas, jackals gathering in northern Nigeria with their new agenda, which is that Tinubu has failed them. Tinubu has used them and dumped them. That's the belief. So these guys are now regrouping. Before that, Rufai, which is Kaduna Little Finger, he has taken it upon himself to sue the Kaduna State government for accusing him of stealing over 400 billion naira as governor and being investigated by them. So he's suing them for defamation. First, this one. Oh, I'm coming back to that.
Aikin ya kamata ya ka sai ka zo ka gaya min ni quantity surveyor ne na san kudin aikin ai. Ka zo ka nuna mana inda aka yi irin wannan aiki da irin kudin da muka kashe. Ka zo ka nuna mana ko ina a Najeriya. Kuma a je a tambayi 'yan kwangilanmu shin 'yan kwangilanmu in aka ba su kwangila suna zuwa su samu gwamnati ce za su ba shi me ake cewa ihsani na goro. 'Yan kwangilanmu yawanci ba wanda ya taba gani na ban ma san su ba domin ni ba gwamna bane mai ba da kwangila. Kwamishinoninmu da sauran mutane ke ba da kwangila kuma ba mu cewa a ba mu 10%. Ba haka muke ba aƙidan mu kenan ba domin muna tsoron ran da za mu tsaya gaban Allah mu yi bayanin me muka yi. Ba dama ka kalli Allah ka ce mishi ka karɓi 10%. Ba ma son haka, ba ma yin haka. Amma su abinda suka saba kenan ba ma 10% suke karɓa ba. Wani lokaci 90% ake karɓa. Akwai hanyar nan da muka gina ta WAF Road, muka yi dualizing ɗinta. An ba da aiki. An biya wani.
That was Rufai complaining much about, these allegations against him. But he got a lawyer that is now saying they have sued the government. Listen to him.
I'm here with Malam Nasir Rufai to file an application to enforce his fundamental rights. As we are all aware, the Kaduna State House of Assembly set up an ad hoc committee to investigate loan and other activities of the former administration. A lot of witnesses were called, and they did hearing and they admitted a lot of documents. But strangely, Malam Nasir Rufai, who apparently was the target of the investigative committee, was never invited. The law is very clear. Everybody deserves to be given a hearing. The right to fair hearing is a natural right that inures into every human being. Malam Nasir Rufai was a lot of allegations were made against him. He was not given a hearing at all. As a law-abiding citizen who believes in the rule of law and who believes that when there are infractions, you need to approach the court, is here today before the Federal Court to enforce his right that every infraction they alleged, he was not given an opportunity to state his own side of the story. And the law is clear about it. Any proceeding, be it court or quasi-tribunal, that it didn't give the parties concerned a hearing, the whole proceeding is void ab initio. And that's why we're here.
Littlefinger is there to request the court to stop Kaduna State government or the investigating committee from inviting him or indicting him or investigating him. That's not what his lawyer said, right? His lawyer is trying to make you think, oh, he wanted to be invited by that committee, and no, that's not what he wanted. Like Yaya Bello is going to court to ask the court that the court should stop the Kaduna State government or House of Assembly from investigating him or any of his time, because They did not invite him when they were doing their probe. And now they want to indict him. And they are preparing him for 2027. No. In solidarity, Kwankwaso was there to see him in Kaduna. No, in Abuja, I think, yesterday. So 3 or 4 days ago, it was Atiku who led a team of that guy, Limodu Sheriff from Borno, the Boko Haram founder, right? And a few others, including elrufai, to go and see Boko Haram in Daura. And that was Kwankwaso yesterday. And to some of these Arewa online alimajiris, yes, our is coming back to the north. These people are meeting again. Yes, our leaders are coming together. We need to take the power back. I love to see it. Okay? I love to see it. And I hope, when that time comes, the terrorists that are regrouping, who couldn't make your lives better in the northern Nigeria for the past 8 years, right? They won't, because they can be so much like, because they are career criminals, right? They can be so much like deceitful that way, right? And that is, these are terrorists, no doubt. Their agendas and the rest of that are anti-people. And it's mostly lays with this religious, what have you, even though it is mostly not about religion, it's just them using that as a smoke screen. I saw a South African president just before their election, or during their elections, which is now concluded, all right? But some said, no, it wasn't during the elections. I don't know when this was, but this is not funny. But this is just an example of what politicians can adjust to so that they can actually possibly get your vote and then get to power and then abandon you and then do it again and again if you are easily deceived.
Allahu Akbar. سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Even though I didn't have the laugh, okay? That's how I got the video. So the laugh is not about just in case if some of you, if you are like a snowflake who can easily get offended, that's not to mock Islam. Okay, it was pretty much of a man, right? He didn't have to do that. I think it was just showing solidarity. So, and he's a politician. So that laugh, around it is just to say why. You don't even have to do that. Or better still, if you had the intention of doing that as a politician, you could probably get tutored. I mean, you are the president. People can tell you how to pray in Islam instead of that. But that's how much politicians, how far they can go to impress But that's not who they are. You see these gathering crooks and the ones they want to fight. Now all of us will be their spectator. Do not by any means get involved or die in there. Well, if you die, I'll have problem to right? Let me try and motivate. See, who is there? I don't need the motivation. So I'm thinking of just giving you one motivation. Maybe we'll just take that one whole body a little bit. You know, it's coming from this brother. It's quite intuitive as well. Listen.
The people that are successful, the richest people on earth, are the people that have traveled very widely. And that's a fact. Anywhere you go on this Mother Earth, you will find a European. That's why they're the richest people on earth. That's why they're successful. That's why they're the most educated people on earth. Another kind of people that you find all over the world, the Chinese and the Indians. You find Chinese and Indians in every country that you go. Any country that you travel to, whether you go to Europe, America, wherever you go, Africa, anywhere on earth. That's why these people are the richest and the most educated people on earth. So it's a fact that if you want to be a prosperous people, you need to travel. You need to go outside your country and live in other countries. Take, for example, in Africa, who are the richest and most educated people on the African continent? It's Nigerians. Yeah, you might not like it, but it's a fact. Nigerians are the richest, are the most educated, most affluent, most sociable people on the African continent. Yes. Now, go to any African country, you will find a Nigerian. Go to any country on earth, even Iceland, go there, you find a Nigerian there. Go to Canada, go to Japan, go to China, go to Russia, go to Fiji, you find a Nigerian there. The people that have traveled the most widely are the richest, and they're the most educated. This is what I wanted to share with you today. Have a good night.
What shall I say unto the Lord? Yes, Lord. All I have to say, thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you,
Thank you, Lord. Now, did I put smile on your face? See, look at you. Now, I don't feel like saying Nigerians. Some are now like, no, not Nigerians, Igbos and Yorubas. Or somehow where you sat there, you're like, maybe it's true. Kind of make you feel good, right? Well, I thought so. That's why I said I was going to share that. So I will leave my line open now. I still have a few things to share with you, but we can possibly have that later in the evening, right? Let's see if I can have an hour call. Now, so those of us who were here last night and you tried, but Maiyegun didn't turn up. Well, I am here now. So whatever you have to say, the line is opened. So use it. And when I get back, I will begin to have that chat. Okay? So don't go anywhere yet. Or yet, yeah.
la
tongue. Thank you so much for joining and being still there. Anyway, so I have a caller. And hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Maiyegun General.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to everybody, and good evening to everybody.
How are you today, Baba?
Yeah, I'm doing very good, my bro. And you're looking good. Thank you for having this nice. Is it a traditional attire?
Now, don't you think?
I mean, if it's convenient, considering the cold in Scotland, maybe it might not work in some cases, but whenever you can, yes, you should wear this. Whenever you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Dan. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Now, if people feels like it's all right, and I'm not looking like, because you know what I mean, like, it has to look good, because I have to represent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know.
If you feel like I'm representing, then I should keep it up. I will.
Yes, my brother, you're represented. I mean, this is a touch of African. I'm not going to say it's your Yoruba attire, but it's an African attire. You know, we recognize it and we appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, the African Wahala. Let's fire.
Yeah, I don't even have anything to say. I'll be honest. I'm just happy that you're back. I realize that I'm addicted to your program, and I'm not that kind of person, you know, but I've just become addicted to Maiyegun's diary political. It really shaped my mind.
Addicted to Maiyegun's I told you now, I said, see, whenever I'm not here, because I'm kind of like exhausted and I just feel like I don't like coming on here and looking so dull, like, Maiyegun, you okay? Like that, right? So even when I take a break, I'm mostly like, just, misread that way, not in a bad way, right? I just feel so useless. Like, okay.
Yeah, like something is missing.
I'm supposed to be here from 2 to 5, then from 8 to 11, right? Now that has become my routine. But whenever I get so exhausted and I want to rest, I kind of feel like I'm just wasting away. Like I'm supposed to be doing something right now, but I'm not. And you know. So we are all addicted to Maiyegun's diary political, the African Wahala. So, and it's something you mean.
It is.
So I miss you as a Maiyegun.
I mean, my brother, this program has made me a better speaker as far as our issues are concerned. I now have more knowledge to share with people so they can understand why we are where we are and what our chances are.
To actually push valid, verifiable, factual points. There are even people who find it difficult to fault you and your belief.
Like they can't even, like they have nothing else to say. They just be like, you know what? That's how he is. They'll just let him go. Just let him go. Exactly.
Well, anyway,
so
I just wish this is you are saying comes to pass, Sha, but I can't promise you.
You know the best. Maiyegun, you know the best they'll say. The best they'll say is, you know what? It is well. It is well.
Point to count.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
God just say pause, Jerry, my brother.
But thank you, Maiyegun. Thank you. I appreciate you. I just came to say, you know, just to encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing. And I encourage the subscribers, please share the video, click on the like button, donate, click on that link, buy Maiyegun a coffee, drop a super chat. Don't be ashamed to do it. You know, I don't identify as a Nigerian anymore, but we so-called Nigerians, it's not a part of our culture to want to donate because a lot of us are highly skeptical, hypersensitive. The first questions that come to our minds is, oh, he could just chop your money. He could just chop your money.
I know. You know what somebody said? Two things. So there are those who, you may not, I don't know if you know this or you don't, but I'll tell you, right? You know, there are people that are very scared to comment on Maiyegun's diary videos because they don't know who is going to see their comments and they do not want to be seen to be publicly associating with Maiyegun's ideas. Right? There are people that they know if they put up a super chat I could possibly put it on the screen. And then people are going to reach out and be like, I saw you. You said they follow Maiyegun. They follow that guy. And there are so many ways that there are still some of our people that are not so confident, okay, to publicly speak about these issues. But quietly, they are following. They are following. They are waiting for how, you know what I mean? So if you, anyone, I have to say a big, really big kudos to those who bring out their bank card, go on that YouTube to give super chats and all of that stuff. Some of them are not people who want to think too deep about everything, but there are people who think deep about a lot. What would you say if they ask you, yourself listening to that Maiyegun, what is it that you can't boldly say, yes, I do? But there are some people that feel like there are those monitoring this platform that will come after them if they know that you are following Maiyegun. I have never seen that kind of fear before. But there are people who fear that.
I mean,
right now, watching me.
You know, Maiyegun, the same way that people are afraid, you know, people that have been crushed, their mentality has been completely dominated by these religious charlatans. They are afraid to express themselves. They are afraid to go against their preachers. They would rather be silent. I mean, you need to emancipate yourself. You only have one life. You can't allow your fellow human being lead you to a place where you don't want to be. You have to sometimes use your own brain for yourself. Even though we are all victims of indoctrination from different angles, but there has to come a point in your life where you have to think about, let me use my own common sense and think about things for myself. I mean, I can't allow a human being, my fellow human being that bleeds like me, that shits, to have control over my life. Don't do that to yourselves, people. Be your own independent individual and try as much as possible to satisfy yourself in this world. And shout out to my Kenyan people. Thank you for the revolution. I hope it spreads to Uganda. Let them get rid of that, their own Kolu in Uganda, Museveni. Yeah, that would be great if that happens. And I hope it spreads to other part of Africa. Thank you, Maiyegun General, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
God bless you, sir. You have a good one, okay? Thanks a lot.
And you too.
I have another person on the line. Straight up. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Idris, yeah?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir. Yes, we actually waited for you yesterday, but at least it's okay for you to take a rest because it's not easy. Try to bring everything together and try to make it a meaningful thing because I can't imagine you getting it.
You don't want to turn up there and be like, this is not.
You.
But indeed, there could be some flip-flop that you will easily see through the camera and say, Maiyegun, you are tired. I say, yeah, I'm tired. Why do you have
to? I have actually been following.
Now, the second thing I wanted to say earlier to African Wahala is that somebody came here and it was like, every day, the whole of your content is about Nigeria. So if you don't talk about Nigeria, you cannot feed. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a good observation, okay? But however, it has always been about Nigeria because I am from there and I'm a victim of the kind of criminals ruining Nigeria, not just me, including the lives of millions of people, including the lives of my own loved ones, family members, friends, and all that. So if I talk about it every day, should that be a problem to anybody anywhere in the world? Like, just feel so like, why are you talking about Nigeria every day? So some will be like, Maiyegun, you're supposed to rest, you are not resting. She rent it deal ni. But it's not so, right? So I take rest when I can, and I just do what I do.
No, it's actually good. It's actually good because seriously, sir, Maiyegun, you don't know how your lecturing has been so helpful to us, especially those of us here in Nigeria. I've been following you for years now, and seriously, I have not been so addicted to. You should know that in Nigeria, we all manage our data, but I don't know how I stood so glued, at least for hours, And even though if I did not listen to any of your broadcast, it's as if probably me would say, look, Pastor, putting for me, I need to get the antidote. So I've been so addicted that because it's not even about the addiction, it's about getting the rightful information. Here in Nigeria, the information I'm going to get tomorrow, sir, from my own mainstream media, I have gotten it from you. All those words trending that in Arise TV, that they are going to show tomorrow. You've already shown it.
You say that to channels and say, hey, you guys, you're just feeding off the news about Nigeria. Why don't you just go away? I'm like, why me? I'm like, it's one of those trolls, though, right? People just feel like, what's so special about this guy? Everybody just talking about it.
So, Maiyegun, African Wala said something about some people that are not coming out. I think he also mentioned it. Yes, some people might be so frightened, especially in Nigeria. Yes, taking a bold step to speak out. This is where I can speak out. I have also been calling on some radio station, VOP, Nigeria Info. I've been calling, but whenever I try to throw out my anger, as in speak out the truth, because speak out the truth. What you just see is that they will just cut you off, and I don't blame them. NCC has regulated their this thing. And whenever we the masses try to veg our anger, they are going to give them 1 million, 2 million, like that, sanction like that. So we can't even speak out. So for we to speak out for you creating this platform for us to bring out this is the truth. This is just the truth. So to me, every day I feel so blessed that you are just a real gem to us, as in giving us information. So I don't know what to say, just to be thanking you every time. So many things you are giving us, you are enlightening us, and may God continue to crown your effort to success, and God continue to protect you and guide you and your family. So this is just what I want to say. But whenever I try to speak like that, I'll just forget a lot. So let me just give on the prayer. Let me just say prayer.
We will see again tonight. So what we are going to have tonight is going to be the People's Parliament. Maybe I should say it ahead of time so a lot of you can get ready. Okay. So tonight, Friday, we are going to have the People's Parliament. As usual, I will bring you stuff, appetizers to get all of you in the mood. Then you have the People's Parliament for another 2.5 hours where we can actually chit chat and all that. Okay. Idris, only nice.
All right, sir.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
Now that's Idris, ladies and gentlemen. That was Idris. So I have another caller on the line, but listen, I have 2 options of which I could use. One, but it will cost me. I have 2 options of getting this message out. Like, if I want to be having all of these paid for views, I've got that option. But from the word go, I am an organic person. I'm somebody who just believes that if somebody shares my message to you, right, then you listen to me and you find me kind of worthy, then you will stay. So naturally, I've built millions of followers. Most of them kind of cut off a few times by the same platform and all that. So I am an, organic person, something that has to come from the people. Or else I could be spending £1,000. I have that option. I could be spending like £1,000 every month to promote my channel. And within 3-4 months, I could actually cross 1 million subscribers. But guess what? Imagine having over 1 million subscribers and half of them, they don't even have a clue about Nigeria. And then I pay the money to Google because I want larger number. So every person you see on Maiyegun's Diary Political joined on his own volition. They leave on their own volition. And that is where you come in. And that's why I keep appreciating every one of you. You see, liking that broadcast, hearing it, what you are doing is that you are helping me to fight the algorithm of YouTube. I won't pay them money to get my message out and get people to listen. No, I want people to hear it and say, yes, I want the real people from that contraption to get the message. And you can help me. And you have been helping. So that's why you have to pay that offer. You have to like the broadcast. You have to share it. That's the most you can do for me. And guess what? It is the most valuable thing you can do. You've been doing it. And we have been progressing. And I love it that way. I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush of having a million or whatever. No, I want it organic. I want you to join because you feel like you found something that's likely suits your purpose. Maiyegun's diary political. I have a caller. Hello there.
Maiyegun.
Ma'am.
It's me, Flora.
Hey, you there, ma'am. How are you this afternoon?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm very well too.
You look awesome. That's good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Nigeria, really, to be honest. Okay, yesterday I was checking my phone. I said, oh, I don't want to call these children to say, is there anything wrong with my phone? I didn't see you. I just kept quiet. I say, anyway, today, if I call you, I'm going to find out so that I will know whether there is something wrong with my phone or not. But luckily, you've mentioned it that you were not on. So, yeah. Now, Buhari, Little Finger, Kwankwaso, whatever. Look, if they like, let them gather. That's my own analysis. Through this your program, I'm beginning to understand a lot of things about Nigeria. If they like, let them gather. That look, where we are now is they are going to know that they've entered one chance.
So
they don't know.
Exactly.
They don't know. They don't know. Call. Is this regional government he will use to threaten them that they will back down?
That's what I heard, though. Like all this thing, all this gathering, all of these things, right? He has the upper hand. If Buhari and his guys, if he could maneuver them, because he did maneuver them, he got them so choked that they couldn't stop him anymore. If they couldn't stop him, what gave these guys the audacity that they are meeting with me to actually change anything?
That's what he's going to use. So it's like, you know somebody's secret, or you know somebody, you know what somebody dread.
Their weakness.
Their weakness. God bless you. So that's what he's going to. Is that time they will know, all of us don't enter one chance.
You know, they will just be like, you know what, let him have his second destiny, let him have another 4 years, or else, if they break up this place,
even the caller is not going to have, except something happens. So it's not only that. By the time he gets to his second term, he's going to reduce something that will make him to go on. I'm telling you, I think you've taught me a lot of things.
There are people. The reason why I don't really push that narrative is because it is not really backed with any concrete say we are doing this, but it is still just pretty much like based on the happenings, and some of them so secret convoy here and there, right? So some believe that Tinubu won't make it to 2027.
What?
You know, like I said, ma'am, like I said, it is part of what some people believe as part of the whole thing, like we'll get him, and all of that. That Nigeria may not even make it to 2027.
Let's see. But that is my own. I didn't see it anyway. I was just thinking, because that time that thing fizzled out about this regional, this thing. You remember when this terrorist, your VP terrorist came out to say, no, we want a good government, not regional, you know? Okay, that's by the way. But there's something I want to tell you. Something that happened. I will be quick. This is the only time I can say it. You know, because in the evening it's usually very busy. Do you know, on my phone, when I get calls from Nigeria, if it's not registered, I don't bother. I don't bother at all. But this person keep, sending me message, good evening, man. This is somehow I just opened it and I discovered that and when I delete the ones that I registered, I leave something behind that makes me know who the person is. So even if the person removes their picture, so like this particular person now removed, they removed his picture. He wasn't the one. They removed his picture.
Like a faceless. Okay.
Yes. So and now I said, no, let me answer this guy, because since April, the person has been. So I opened it and I discovered that it was the barrister. You know, this domiciliary account I told you I lost my husband, you know, when he was doing his business in Nigeria, he had this, you know, demonstrable accounts with First Bank.
Other businesses.
So, yeah. So, so when I went to, you know, sort his things out, his business things out, close, whatever, First Bank refused to give me that money. They were finding a lot of excuses, and I knew it was just gimmick. At a point, they said, okay, they will give me, but they will give me in Naira. I said, no. When my husband put the money, he put it in pounds. So I'm not going to take a Naira.
It's called domiciliary account for a reason.
Yeah. So we started dragging it until the time I wanted to go back. So what I did, I knew, even without me being a lawyer, I knew that case, I'm going to win it. So I took this barrister, and he filed he wrote to them, and whatever, they dragged a little bit, and they accepted. And they said I should take my ID to go. Then I had already returned to UK. Now, somebody stole his phone and was messaging me. So I now replied, lawyer, 3 days ago. I said, oh, sorry that you haven't seen me in Nigeria. I've been so busy. Don't worry about the account. I'm not worried because that account is not going to lose, that money is not going to lose its value. So I'm not really worried. Anytime I come to Nigeria, I will take that hour later to the branch and all that. The person replied, okay, ma. Then I now told my sister, because it was my sister who introduced me to the lawyer. I said, see how barrister just answered me. And I said, okay, let me find out. It was then we knew that one of his friends sold that phone from him. I said, oh, yeah. So he was the one that
just to sell it or something.
It wasn't the barrister. It was him, this man. I said, who? So my sister started telling me the details of this man. It was this barrister that stood for him when he got his wife beaten up and injured, and that he spent 4 years in the prison. Now, listen to me. He's a pharmacist. So obviously, he's looking for every area to con any person. So he now told me, oh, madam, if you can send me anything, you know that Nigeria is very difficult now. So when I had gathered that information, and I wrote back to him, I said, look, listen, the barrister I know, the barrister I know, will not condescend so low, begging me for money.
This kind of money, yeah.
Yes. Nevertheless, if you are taking his phone from him, if you have hacked his phone, or if you are stolen his, whatever you have done with his phone, could you please return his phone to him? Having spent 4 years in the prison, why would you want to go back there? Rebuild your life, not through this means. But let's make a deal. Return his phone. You've gotten my number now. Text me, and I will take it from there. If I want to help you, I will help you. But just get out from this nonsense you are doing. This was only yesterday. I was looking for you. I say, oh no, who do I tell this story? It's Maiyegun. It's Nigeria.
Right? Like you can easily pick that. See, somebody who helped you, right?
Yes.
Got you out of jail, and the most you could do is to steal his phone. And you didn't stop there. You went after his client.
Yes.
And you're just about to now play them.
Yes. I said, no. I said, sorry, I'm the last person that will fall into your scam, you know. So please, let's make a deal. Return his phone, yeah? And let's see. Send me message. If possible, send me your candidates. I will see any way I can help you for you to rebuild your life. But this is not the way. So I'm waiting. I've not checked whether he has read my message. Because I asked my sister, I said, has that guy returned the phone? He said, no. He said, but barrister has reported police. Police are they are not willing to help him. They said because he willingly gave the phone to the man. The man didn't steal it. So he's ashamed not to go further. The barrister is ashamed to. It's an elderly man, you know. I understand. It's very elderly. And I don't know. I don't know what happened, to be honest. This is true story I'm telling you, Maiyegun. This is the Nigeria of today. And somebody will come and tell me.
There's a place where people want to take advantage of you at any given time. And to them, they don't see it as bad. They see it as being smart.
Yes, yes.
They say, you are very sharp. Oh. You are sharp. Oh. You're smart. Oh. You have brain. Oh.
Yes.
And all these things are just like normalizing abnormalities, right? And seeing evil good as good, since you need to survive. You know that we are poor now. You know we need to survive now. That's why we don't have job now. That's why we have to do whatever we can to survive now. Are you being serious?
My dear, I said, let me tell my who else would I tell? I said, now look, a whole pharmacist going condescending so low like this. Coming want to start. Not only, I'm sure it's not only me. You would have
want me to tell you my own experience that your story just reminded me of now, right, ma'am? See, on this platform, right, I used to randomly just pick people, okay?
Yes.
To support, right? Then sometimes I would just be like, I could pick like 5, 10 people.
Yes.
So I don't know if you remember those era. People kind of raise money, contribute.
Yes. Yes.
Let's accept this, let's accept that, right?
That's it. That's it.
Especially before their elections, okay? When people still felt like Nigerians they were about to fight and break themselves.
Yes.
That happened. Okay. So now there was this guy. He's probably watching me right now.
Yeah.
I was going to put his face on my platform, but it's not worth it. You know what happened, man? So in one of those days, and I hope he's watching. One of those days, we were supposed to give 50,000 naira.
Yes.
To I think about 5 people, 5 people.
Yes.
And somehow, man, I gave the 50,000. Then it got to him.
Yes.
The person that was supposed to give him the money now sent about 80,000. No, I think 80,000 or 100,000. I don't know how that mistake just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I messaged him, Maiyegun, hey, bro. There's 100,000 sent to you. You need to send the 50,000 back. That is meant for somebody else.
Jesus.
You know something, man? Like, he blocked me. He blocked me on Facebook. He blocked me on that same link number he sent his account. I mean, his bank details through.
Yes.
And this was just like about a year and a half or 2 years ago, man.
Yes.
Like, I still couldn't believe it. Like, you are somebody who knows that I will talk about it. I have the proof I gave you the money.
Yes.
You have the proof that you say thank you. We have the proof that I told you we gave you more.
Yes.
I have the proof that you said you will send it back. And that was it. That's about 2 years now. I said,
oh my God.
So Nigerian thing, to him, maybe he went somewhere. His pastor said, God is going to bless you this week. And from nowhere, or maybe his babalawo gave him a soap and said, this one is meant for people, even people who work for, they could pay you. You know that kind of thing in Nigeria.
Yes.
So maybe he now believed it worked on me. So for him to say, I will send the 50,000 back, it's like spoiling the jazz or the voodoo or the prayer.
Yes.
Because God has already blessed him with 100,000, which is to deny another person his own 50,000. I have to give that person from my pocket.
Can you imagine?
It's a Nigerian thing. They know so much about God.
Yes.
It's all fluke, lies. If they want to cheat you, they talk more about God.
It doesn't
if they want to
reflect in their
deceive
life.
you, that's why they talk more about God. Pay
No,
attention, man. Pay attention.
It doesn't reflect in their behavior. Forget about God, forget that.
Exactly. Oh, I swear to God. I swear to God.
Yes.
See, I use God that I serve. Use this God that I serve to swear for you, man. Don't believe it. Don't.
Maiyegun, let me give. Otherwise, we start this. I have a friend. She has a shop. She always comes here. Right. She said once you come, you are looking for a job like sales girl. Yeah. And as soon as you say you are a Christian, you say, sorry, I'm not taking you.
And some people will find that a little bit overstretched. We are talking about experience. People hire people based on, they believe that as a Christian or as a Muslim, if I'm a Muslim now, I know what a good Muslim is, right? So definitely, I'll be looking for a good one. But I could be deceived by that. People are deceived by that.
No, not
as a Christian, right? I know what a good Christian should be like. Abi? Now I'm going to be looking for one. Now, from experiences of people, they've got their fingers burnt many times.
My friend has big time. My friend. So he said, as soon as they come, she lives in Benin. He said, as soon as they come, she has a shop. She comes here all the time. She sends it to me. He said, once she puts sales gear and somebody comes, I said, oh, I'm a Christian. He said, okay, you know what? Don't worry, I will get back to you.
Yes.
It's again. She has been beaten. He said they will take the bottle, they will take the drink. This one I'm telling you, over 5 years ago, they will take the bottle of the drink she's selling because she has a very big, massive supermarket. Right. Then they will leave the pack. They
are carrying the crates.
So yeah. So
they can even leave the cap on. You would still think that crate's there or everything complete.
Yeah. So when she comes, she'll just count. Look, Maiyegun, let me just leave you.
You want another one before you go, ma'am, right? Businesses, talking about businesses. About people in Nigeria who have people who are selling for them. And you are supposed to pay them at the till. But they have their own POS hidden somewhere in their bags.
Yes.
And they'll tell you, no, don't worry, I'll take it to your car for you. You can pay by the car. I mean, business that was supposed to make profits. Then you hire people to work for you. You pay them only for them to be making your profit goes to their bank account. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot.
God bless you. Look, it's just to, we've done business to Nigeria, so it's too much. Let me just leave people to. I have stories to talk. Nigerian thing.
And these stories are true stories, experiences.
Yes. This is not they say. It's not that. It's me and my husband and the close people. It's not they say.
It is well. I'll let you go, Mama. Thank you so much.
My love to your family always.
Okay, yeah. We can still take a few more. You have a good afternoon, okay?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's our lady dear, Flora. Here again, the line is let me see. Let me put it back up so that we don't have any setback or so, right? So you can have your shots too. All you have to do is you see that number. Meanwhile, I'm going to change this number very soon. The studio number. But I promise you, right? The moment it changes, you will notice it on the screen. Save it or just edit the one you save on your WhatsApp. Edit that. So the new one I'm going to put up soon. Not yet. This one is still working. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun the General.
Yes, sir. Baba, how are you, sir?
This is me. It's me. I'm fine. It's Bright from Italy.
God bless you, Bright. Oh, this is Bright, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, my brother. And you? It's been a while.
Thank you.
Maiyegun, thank you, Sha. I'm not going to say thank you. You see, let me tell you, if you are a person that has this consciousness now of how the world looks like, believe me, you will not be crazy about any goddamn thing in this life. I'm telling you. If you
travel and you will know that most of the things you are trying, in fact, most of the things we are praying for in Nigeria, our prayer points are basically the normal things that is provided. So when you travel, there is a possibility that majority of the things you are clinging on to, you won't.
Yeah. It really is.
And it's because also, education generally. Oh, yeah, right. Oh,
the today's world is like. Sometimes I don't know how it's going to. I don't know how long it's going to take for a lot of persons to be educated, to be open-minded of how things work now. You see, the issue that happened in Kenya of late that led the protesters in the streets, and a lot of things started changing. We saw how it started, how the president went to the United States, how some of the parliamentarians in the United States came to Kenya to observe them. It was like a cool way of recolonizing the people from the backyard. It was happening in our eyes. It's not that these things, these things have always been happening. But it's like these people now are not gaining, they are not gaining more ground to even do it to the open, that there's nothing you can do about it. This is how the system works. And the people now look at it like, really? So it's not happening in our eyes. And we have to
choice. We either give it to us or you will shoot us. Like no choice.
Exactly.
No choice.
Exactly. You see, the people have to do something about it. But the only thing I see there is like, these people could, hold that protest till now, doing what they are doing. Everybody is moving. Even, even the government is kind of their hands are tied. But if you take it back to Nigeria as a country and say, okay, let us practice it the way these people has done theirs, even though we know that our own democracy is being run by these deep states outside Nigeria. Now, if we decide, okay, let us do it that same way, you will see that Nigeria is so compromised that in everything that happens globally that happens anywhere, Nigeria has it twice. We have it double. That is, we have the real ones and we have the fake one. You have Yahoo Mail for your mail to receive your mail and send somebody mail in Nigeria. You also have the Yahoo that will collect from you and they will not give it to you back. The same Nigeria. You have Olusho, then you also have hookup. You have politicians. You have politifam. You have celebrity. You have celebratives. You have activists. And you have activists. You have act and thief. Then you now have protesters that will go and protest for the real deal. Then you now have hoodlums that will infiltrate the protest. So the system is so organized in a way that sometimes you now sit down and say, where do we start from? Do we start from religion? You look at that side is a no-go area. Because if the way people see, sometimes I sit down and say, okay, what if you now carry this religion that has made you to sit down, your hands are tied? You now die as a person and you find yourself on the other side and now see that what you have been told is a lie. So you will lose here and lose there. You will lose here and lose there. You will be a slave here, and you will still come and meet the same people who have been ruling you here, still be your superintendent there. You will be in a mess. That's going to be hell. That is the hell that I believe is hell.
That for themselves.
Because sometimes I sit down, I think so deep. Because sometimes I sit down, I don't want to rubbish anybody's belief or religion. Because sometimes I ask myself, what if Jesus was a black man? Will people take him seriously? Because must he be a white man? Why should an angel answer Angel Gabriel? Why not in Costco?
Like angel, even it can even be like an angel Okoko. No. Angel Ijebu or Angel something like that. I will say that one are from the
okay. This one is coming from our side as well. Maybe the other one is from. Why must it be one-sided? So you see that the global politics is so that is. It's like a Hollywood. It's like a Hollywood movie that will thrill you. It's like. See, you have to be very, very, very conscious to know how things work as of today. And when you get that, Maiyegun, you will take a deep breath. You will not kill yourself over anything, but just to make sure you are aware of what is going on around you, just like the way you are educating a lot of people here. Because the system, my brother, because the democracy we have in Africa is not the democracy. It is another way of colonizing the people. It's another way of colonizing the people. We just vote people. Yeah, we vote people. These people are not. This is like a normal practice just to make it legit. The people who we choose them are in somewhere else outside Nigeria. Because whenever election is coming, you see the way our politicians are flying outside Nigeria to go and hold meeting in UK, France. What is the big deal holding UK meeting in UK and France?
Yeah, colonial masters.
When you are,
they want to if I become president, I promise you. I promise you will make more money when I become. I will open the door for you. Are you sure? But this guy is already opening the door for us. I will do more. He's not opening any door for you. I can do more. I can give you the whole country. I just need you to know our partners, and they will say they are meeting their partners. I won't worry. Right? You
see my fear now, Maiyegun. The only fear I have now, because the West have been able to capture Africa, especially Nigeria, because if Nigeria is
in charge of Africa.
Yes, now if Nigeria is really captured totally, then half of Africa is gone. Because look at now, the bandit is taking people's land. People cannot go to their land. People cannot farm. There is shortage of food. Now the GMO companies are coming into Nigeria. Before you know, now your local corn your local tubers of yam, all those normal things that you can keep and store them whenever the season is coming back, you go and replant. They will not be there anymore. So you will need to go to these people to go and beg them for your seed to plant. And these people are already coming to take those lands from the locals, because the government we have today, the way they are borrowing, they will allocate this land to these corporate companies that are coming from the West, and the people will work.
Right. Do you know that this GMO thing we have been talking about, it's like we're already talking about it too late. Okay.
Yes.
Bill Gates has actually pumped into Nigeria over $700 million. You know what they use the money for? To set up different holding cell where they will say they are training people about the technology. And then there are some of some of these facilities in Nigeria, institutions that Bill Gates Foundation has given money, 100 million. 200 million naira, 50 million, 500 million, 1 billion, all over Nigeria. All for them to say they are doing a stem cell, they are doing stem cell study, they are doing the GMO variants, like a coronavirus. So they are discussing, they are developing different variants of GMOs. And the message to everybody is that they are being produced in Nigeria. So that it is more into Nigerian varieties of food and all of that. So there's no panicking. But it's almost too late. The research we should be doing right now is to be finding out how many of those institutions in Nigeria collected money from Bill Gates and how far have they gone in their researches. You see this stuff we are going to go to do Onyibo. In fact, that one is like out of the picture now. They've already started doing it in Nigeria, with over $750 million investment in the last 5 years, right? People already collected it. Media houses have been paid. Medical professionals have been hired to tell you that it's not dangerous. Doctors, nurses, and all of them have been hired. Very soon you will see more. So it's not like it's just coming. Baba, it is already here.
That is the program. It's a long-term program. That program has been, like you said,
for long, and it's a long-term too.
Kolo, that is why the food shortage is there now. That one now will not come through the back door as the savior. Will not come as the savior. The people will not, because people are hungry, they will embrace it and forget about the consequences.
The big gate we need to do is to just stop funding those ones they are making in Nigeria. And everybody would have to go elsewhere to go and get wherever they tell you to go to. Now, before you know it, Nigeria will now be reporting on the GMO seed importation. Nigeria spent $6 billion on importing GMO. Then the government will now be like, we need to produce our own GMO here. So they will then have to go and borrow money to build their GMO. Baba, we are in for a long mess. That's why we vote for the breakup of Nigeria now. My children shouldn't live through that. My children shouldn't live through that.
Maiyegun, have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you so much.
God bless you, sir. I love that. See, there are things that people should know when it comes to government policies and all of that. They're going to tell you that people who don't understand are going to raise alarm about it. Are you going to believe those people who are out to finish you, or are you going to believe the people that are pointing out the obvious? Of course, the choice will be yours. But you can't claim ignorance about many things going on in Nigeria. I don't like that. There are many people that can't claim ignorance. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I never knew that. Of course you do. You just probably don't care. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Lady Charm.
How are you? I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, I like your outfit.
And how are
you? I'm good, thank you. Thank you again. I think I'm a part of the people that are also addicted to this your show.
We are all addicted. There's nothing but there are some additions that it's like food, right? There are people that will tell you that their food is dangerous, okay, but we still have to eat.
Oh, you have to eat.
We need information about what is going on, like this day and time. Where information is just like nanoseconds and all that. So it's your choice not to get addicted to right information. We need it.
To right information. Honestly, you know, the knowledge that we get from your show is just amazing. Like I said, you know, I only just started watching your program last year, just around about the election time. Yeah, and you know, I've the kind of insights that I've gained, and you know, like African Wahala was saying. Now, when I have a conversation with people, you come from a position of you come with information, so that they should get like, okay, you really know what she's talking about, you know, type of thing. So I really commend you for the work that you're doing.
So much.
Yeah. So Ruto, I think you played Ruto to retire. So
that's the issue in Kenya now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing what's happening in Kenya, right? But let me ask you something. You know, you've been covering this thing for a very long time, right? And we know that the establishment is there. We know that there are other external influences, you know, who are determined to keep Africa the way it is, because again, it serves the purpose. It serves the purpose of keeping them, you know, rich, you know, whilst we're being impoverished. And in the lack of education that we're getting, the illiteracy and the lack of information that we have generally in Africa allows them to carry on with what they're doing, right, without much pushback. Because again, if the people are ignorant, are not knowledgeable, right, with regards to even what the basic good governance should look like, it allows them to carry on doing what they're doing. You know, I'll come back to Ruto. Like the people who are the northern, you know, elite or whatever, or the people who are, you know, out there supporting the northern elite and saying, oh yes, it looks like the north is going to come back into power and this and that and the other. You know, it was hilarious to listen to that, because these are the people who are practically the poverty capital of the whole world, right? Because for decades, and this is decades prior to even the so-called democracy, which are like the previous caller was saying, we don't have a democracy. We have something that resembles democracy, but it's not exactly democracy, right? So that has been going on for decades, and you people are still the most impoverished section in the whole country. So what benefit is it that your so-called elites are gathering? What point? They make no difference to you. You still lack water, you still lack education, you still lack infrastructure. So you that you're gathering and saying to yourself, well, how, the northern elite, they're gathering their good power is going to come back to the north.
Yeah,
you shouldn't really want
so happy and say, yes.
It's of no consequence. It's of no consequence to you as a people or as a group. You haven't benefited in any way, shape, or form. In fact, you've been impoverished even more.
Last year, Buhari was there. 8 years, he ruined the country. He ruined northern Nigeria. And yet a northerner, a year after, wants the power back, because it's like all these things happened to them all these 8 years. Charm, they never happened.
It never happened. And that's for me.
How could the victims of such be defending the criminals who ignored them for 8 years and saw them slaughtered?
And will keep on and continues to see you slaughtered, and they are doing absolutely nothing about it. You know, somebody come with there's an expose about who bought the bandits. We know who brought the bandits in, right? We know who started this whole banditry in the country, right? It is still one of your own people killing your own people, right? And you are still wanting the same set of people to actually come back into power because you like death, you like hunger.
From our side, we need to have that power. They love to see, they love that convoy to show influence, power. All the time of Buhari time, yeah? Majority of them were just like, if Nigeria wants to burn, let it burn, as long as Buhari remain.
As long as Buhari
used that 8 years, they were adamant. Here we are. The Ronuku saying, if Nigeria want to burn, let it burn. Tinubu will use 8 years. Now the two of them won't clash now. We will be the spectators.
We'll be the spectators watching. Yeah, we'll be the spectators watching both of them, And like I think Flora was saying that, like let them gather. Yes. In fact, I think it was one of your talks that you did maybe like last week, and you said that don't feel sorry for Kolu. Feel sorry for these people, because Kolu is a confirmed criminal, and if he wants to deal with these people, he knows what to do. Yes. So when
so
you said that, I was like,
what? The best is for no one of us to catch any feelings. It's going to be hard for people like us to catch feelings too, right? I'm talking to some people who still see them. You know, Nigerians are very, very, it's unreal, okay? If you look at that video party, most of the talk is about the money, the opulence, you know, it's about the gift, the luxury, and millions of them who came across that wedding pictures and videos. Some of them actually hope that they, number one, some of them have told themselves that they can never have that, but they dream it.
Yeah,
the opportunity to say, maybe one day I will have that too.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame a person for dreaming. Do you understand? I think where you fall them in their so-called dream is that when you dreamed of having this money, how were you dreaming of having it? Were you dreaming of stealing it, or were you dreaming of actually legitimately getting that kind of money? Now, if it,
that's how they are dreaming of making that money.
I don't even want to go into this whole religion business.
God can bless you. You know, you are talking to me now. You could become a billionaire tomorrow. Even if you don't have
I can
you billion, right? Or you may believe
let me
me
tell you something.
If you are from Nigeria. You should believe me. But
I can believe you that you can give me, but the logical side of me is going to ask the question.
Well, you laugh because
how
you know that to make a billion as an American yourself, right? To make a billion is not by somebody saying it to you. They say you will make it.
Exactly. So
that's
you know what? Even if I dream and say, oh yes, I'm going to get a billion, the logical side of me is going to ask, how exactly is that billion supposed to land on your life? You can fold your hands and doing absolutely nothing. Yes. And you know that's not going to happen. You know, you have to actually put yourself out there. And that's what I'm saying. Look, even if you're going to dream, right? Because when you dream and you say, okay, you're going to get such and such, right? And then you say, okay, this is how I'm going to get it. Then you look around you and you look around you and see that the governance that you have is never going to allow you to do that. Then you have to do
legitimately. It's impossible.
You never exactly. You will never make it.
So how are you going to make that? Oh God!
So this
bless anybody. Sure, please. Come on. Shut up.
Let me just quickly talk about Ruto because this whole religion and what people believe is just beyond. It just takes, and that's why a lot of people talk about religion. Religion is a separate entity. When you have a relationship with God and you actually read the Bible, there's a portion of the Bible that says, my people suffer for lack of knowledge, and that is exactly where the Christians in Nigeria are. They are suffering for the lack of their knowledge because they're getting all their knowledge not from the Word of God but from their pastors who seek to manipulate them, for their own end, and that's what is going on in Nigeria. It's not necessarily the people that believe in God. These are people that have been manipulated, and they've used their fear and guilt to manipulate them into being docile and doing nothing about their situation. Because ordinarily,
God to get whatever they can.
Exactly, and for me, it's just the logic behind it. Okay, if I give God this thing, He's going to give me that thing. Then, but when you start to think like that, you have to understand that that's not the God that the God in the Bible is. That's not the God that you're serving. You're serving you're actually serving Mammon. God of your pastors or whoever that is, because that is not God. Because again, He owns everything. He doesn't need you to bribe him to give him something that belongs to him. Okay, he doesn't need your 10%, to be God. He is God, whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, or whether you give him a dime or not. That has nothing to do with anything. Okay, so once you start to understand that, then people will start to actually fight for the things that should rightfully belong to them, which they are not doing. Right now, this is something I just want to throw out there because I think Julius Malema had already said something about the Ruto prior to becoming president of Kenya. The kind of things that he said, right, is so different from what they are saying right now. Has anyone ever considered that, say the establishment don't have something on you? I don't know if anyone has ever heard about MK Ultra. Have you heard about MK Ultra?
MK Ultra?
It was a CIA program, back in the day, which they used, different methods and ways to manipulate people, to program people and things like that, right? Because it doesn't make any sense, right, that somebody would speak a certain way and then all of a sudden, after they assume power, have some interaction with these people, they now turn around and start acting differently. And not only do they act differently, they are obstinate in their actions. You can see Ruto. You can see what he's doing. Forget about what he's saying. Look at what he's doing. He's determined to break those people. He's determined to squash that rebellion. He's determined to kill people regardless of what they are saying. Exactly. All to have his way. And what way does he want to have? It's not even a way that is original to Kenyans. It's the way of IMF, the way of the West. So it has to make you wonder, is there something else going on that we're not even aware of? Do you understand? And I'm just throwing it out there just because I know that Martinelli will say our imagination won't keep person. But you have to think about it because our leaders are not acting right. They're acting like people who are under some kind of, okay, so it's either they have something on you, so you carry on with, whatever it is they want you to do. But I say to myself, even if they have something on me, right, I'm president already, let them do their worst and I'll do my best. Do you understand? But it doesn't seem like, I'm like, what can they have on you? What is so terrible that they can have on you to the point where you are willing to kill your own people to hide whatever it is that they have on you? Now, either they don't have anything on you or they've used technologies like MK Ultra to control you. So these are, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not saying that this is what has happened to me.
There are some people probably are just nodding their head like they've been thinking along that line too. And you just
because it makes me suspicious.
Why?
Exactly. It makes you suspicious that people are determined to kill their own people, not so that you will bring something good to them, but so that you can still kill them. Exactly. So that you can still kill them. When the simple thing to do is reduce the size of your government and the government
expenditures. Simple.
Exactly. Reduce the amount of money you are spending as a government, as an administration. Reduce the number of people that you have as ministers. Reduce your spending.
Corruption. Stop inflating government contracts.
Listen,
do things normally. Now that you don't have excess money to share, or no, it's impossible. It is their turn.
Exactly. It's almost like, but what are you even doing with all that wealth anyway? Because at the end of the day, just like somebody said, you don't take it with you. I remember watching a burial and I thought to myself, after everything this person accumulated on this earth, at the end of the day, you are lying in that coffin all by yourself and you'll be buried and put it. You don't take a dime with you, not even the clothes that they put on your back. You don't take it with you. Let me let other people call. I don't
well, right? Thank you so much. I will close the chat with this, okay? And it is from that pastor. We were talking about faith earlier, right? I played this 2 nights ago. You remember? You have a good one.
Yeah.
Somebody say you should be saying that all this your shepherd and he is using bodyguard. Sorry, and that is what religion has done to a lot of people, including our nation. When you keep on telling our people that giving will make you rich, and we have several graduates who are jobless. Giving will make you rich, and you are giving to the rich, and the Bible says you become poor. Me, conveniently, you see me using 5G, by your 1, by your 2, by your 3, by your 4, and the 6th one, Mopo, Amatekun. Then the one in front, Soldier, and you are still giving to me. You are not waking up. Somebody say you should be saying that all this your shepherd and he is using bodyguard. Sorry, if you know that God is his own shepherd, and he will walk through the value of something, why is it you say Amatekun? Why is it you say Mopo? Why is it you say bodyguards? Hello, conveniently, you can give him millions of dollars, and you still want your church member to be contributing for you. Something is wrong. But I won't blame them. Some of you want to buy miracle. You love. Somebody now said, if you don't pay tithe, you are not going to heaven. That is not. A pastor said recently, he said that if you see anybody that is prosperous without tithes, he will drop the Bible. We wish he dropped the Bible because we have millions. Go and Google for it. Qatar is one of the blessed countries in the world, and it's a Muslim country. They don't pay tithes, and they are well blessed. If tithe is the reason why we are going to be blessed, nobody should be poor in Nigeria because they have been paying tithe when I was inside my father's and mother's womb. Yes. How many of you relate with those aged mother? They will tie it to their wrapper and bring it to church. What is their prosperity? So people now think that salvation is synonymous to money. If God touch your heart, do for God. And not everything is for money. If you don't have money and you are coming to church, please be excited, be happy. Don't say, I don't have money. Go out there now. You will see a lot of people don't go to church. They say, I don't have money. Most of the people say, we didn't see you in church. When you get there, they now lie. They say, we are sick. Most of them don't have offering. They are always ashamed not to drop. Majorly if it's church. You know, there are some churches you have to dance out. And as they are dancing out, they are recording whether you will drop inside basket or not. You will feel frustrated. Church is not primarily to collect money. Let me tell you, the first auditorium that we can call Christian gathering was built after over 200 years that the apostle, I believe, has started preaching. Over 200 years after. But now we put burdens on people. That's why some people will never go to church that is not well completed, because they know there will be too much money in the church that is under construction. Today cement, today tiles, today wood, today pan. So that is not the reason why we gather. And let me tell you, people that are rich in the church, they now see it as if they are above somebody who is not rich. My dear, if you don't have money, be excited. It's the same God, both the poor and the rich. Salvation is what goes around. Money doesn't go around. In conclusion, please, I want to beg you, in this church, like he said, engage in business. Stop wasting economic hours in church. You know what we call?
That's my new pastor now. So if I am in Nigeria and that guy get church, I will go to his church and sit down there and say, yeah, preach, pastor, preach. That is where we're going to draw the curtains this afternoon. Let me go get ready for the People's Parliament tonight. Now, People's Parliament is going to come up between 8 and 11:30 p.m. tonight. And I am saying this ahead of time, okay? If you want to be part of it, you have something you want to say, you have something you want to share, or it's about something we've discussed severally here, and your view you want the world to hear, right? And even our brothers and sisters from Kenya, if you have any of them on this platform, you could join us too. That will be tonight, okay? What do you think is currently, or let me say, what do you think this IMF, World Bank powered poverty that the African leaders are importing to Africa, what do you think is going to be the fate of Africa if nothing is done? Or do you think something will be done? Now, that's what we are going to talk about this evening. All the happenings. You should join us. Yeah, I will launch that around 7 p.m. So which means if you want to be part of it, you should plug in around that time. And I will join you too. Thanks so much for your time, okay? I'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun diary politico. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn làjú lórí YouTube
Maiyegun ti dé
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
bíjó ìgbádìyẹ
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
bí gómìnà kówó jẹ
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
òkúra olóṣèlú
Maiyegun máa wí
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Maiyegun ti dé
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Maiyegun ti dé
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.